Yo people, wagwan, welcome back to RonsTechHub. This is going to be quite an interesting one for some people. So this is the £40 computer, the cheapest computer ever in my opinion. That's fully featured. You need very little peripherals or additions to it. You can buy it for roughly £40 on eBay or Amazon. When it comes, it has almost everything you need to work. Let me explain. So here we have it. Hopefully you guys can see that clearly. And yes, it actually costs £40. Is really the cheapest computer I've ever bought, though it might be a little unconventional. Most of the software is free, but you can definitely buy more software for it if you need it. Most of the games are free as well, and some of the games, quite a good number of them, have controller support, so you can buy or attach a Bluetooth controller or a wired USB controller and it works perfectly fine. And it actually has all the major TV streaming apps, so the Netflix, the Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, works straight away out of the box. What else? Some of you might have guessed already, but this is actually what's known as an Android box. Very small device. Let me get something to compare the size to that everyone knows. Okay, so here's my PS4 controller, and here's the box. And as you guys can see, it's quite small. I mean, look at that. It's about the same height as a PS4, not the same thickness, and it's way smaller than the PS4 controller, okay? So when I said Android, some of you guys might have guessed. Yes, that is the same Android that some iOS users are wishing Apple would actually listen and try to implement some of those iOS features. This tiny box has quite a few ports added to it. I mean, I'm going to rip into Apple here a bit, and even Samsung as well. This has an headphone jack. Let's just go from the back here, right? So hopefully you guys can see that this has a headphone jack there on the left. So that one over there, that's the headphone jack here. Beside that, we have an HDMI port. Next to that, we have an Ethernet port, and right next to that, we have a 5-volt, I believe, DC port. Okay, that's where you give it power. So there's a normal barrel plug, but it does come in the box. On this side, we have a micro SD card slot, a full-size USB 2.0 port, and a full-size USB 3.0 port. On the front, I do believe we have a clock here. So when it's plugged in and turned on, there's a clock here, and you can set the time. It works perfectly fine. On the other side, there's nothing. And on the underside, it only has device. Oh yeah, so here we go. It's 5 volts and 2 amps. That's nothing. This is roughly the same as most phones nowadays, and this is a full smart TV experience. Just change the background there a bit. So let me actually show you guys what comes in the box. So this is a box here. I'm not going to bother going and opening the box and doing an unboxing. It's very simple. You open the box. Each section has a compartment, and that's it, okay? So what actually comes in the box? Well, obviously we have the Android box, and this is called the H96 Max, and apparently it's capable of 4K Ultra HD. So when watching stuff on YouTube or watching stuff in any one of your apps, you should be able to do 4K. It actually comes with an HDMI cable. I don't believe it's HDMI 2.1. However, the fact that it comes with one is really good. And it comes with a controller. Now, for some reason, this to me looks very similar to I think it looks like the Roku controller, where Roku is a company that does purple, I believe. So as you can see here, we have a mouse left click, we have volume, we have back, up, down, left, right, and OK. We have a home button, and we have, I guess this is the options or menu button, and at the top we have a power button. This only puts it to sleep. It doesn't actually power the device down fully. Alright, so let's do a proper rundown of the specs, right? I'm going to put the link in the description for this specific device. There was something that I wasn't too sure about, so I need to turn it on and actually check. On the title on eBay, it says Android 10. However, when I go to the description, when it says see full description, it actually says Android 9. However, it has a quad-core CPU running at 1.5 gigahertz. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM, so not ROM, not internal storage. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM. It has 32 gigabytes of internal storage. It can decode H.265 video. They're saying that it can also do 4K video. As I've mentioned before, a 5-volt 2-amp power supply. Again, in the description, it's saying Android 10. Wi-Fi, it has 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi capabilities. Now, for a box that's what, 35, 40 pounds, that's actually quite good. And we have all the typical Android stuff. Ethernet is up to 100 megabytes, not the greatest, but to be honest, when streaming on boxes like this, I think 100 megabytes for streaming in general is just decent speeds. So that HDMI cable I showed you is HDMI 2.0, so the actual device doesn't do HDMI 2.1, but that's fine again. Alright, so here we are, people. This is all set up. As you can see, that's the mouse moving around on screen. I'm not going to be using the remote in this one just because it's a lot easier to use a mouse and keyboard to move around. So that's why I said that this is a fully fledged PC, and I'm going to actually go ahead and show you guys how to get some of the apps that you want to get. It does have the Play Store, so you can log in using the Play Store. That's perfectly fine. It comes with YouTube install and a few other apps as well. So let's just look at what the apps are. Quite a few of these are apps for other app stores. We have Prime Video, we have Kodi. Kodi doesn't work out of the box. You have to set it up yourself. Facebook Lite, Twitter, VLC, YouTube, Super User Access, Setup Wizard, MX Player, ES File Explorer. So just a few apps, not overly loaded, right? When using a mouse, you have left click, which is actually to select, and you have right click that takes you back. You guys might be able to hear the clicks in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and download one of the things that people use a lot on PC, right? So I'm going to go to browser, and let's see if I can actually go ahead and find, let's look for Microsoft Word. And on Android, when you're looking for stuff, you need to look for the name of the app and APK. Now this is essentially side loading, so if you're not using the Google Play Store, this is how you should normally do it, okay? I like to go for APK Pure, or Pure APK I think it's called. Oh, here we go. The APK Pure app was installed, but I just wanted to use the website. So let's see what we get. When we go in here, we can download the APK. It's 68 megabytes, so I'm going to click that. Start downloading. I do just once. And let's see. Yeah, I'm going to save it to the downloads folder. That's fine. And go OK down here. So it's asking if I'm sure I want to save this because it might be harmful. I'm going to go OK. And it's downloaded. Let's see if I can click on details and see anything sensible. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, that's already finished. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open this app now. It's not going to open Microsoft Word. What it's going to do is allow me to install Microsoft Word, okay? The first time you do this from Chrome, you're going to have to go to Settings, and you're just going to have to do Allow Unknown Apps. I'm going to stick this to Always, just so that... actually, which one should I use? Okay, let's try that one first. I'm just going to do just once. I'm going to try that one first. Okay. I'm going to do Chrome. Okay, let's do... Might as well do all of these actually, because these are app stores. So do all of those and go back. And let's see if this works now. So I'm going to click on this again. It's not a really long process. Once you do this once or twice, it becomes really easy. And again, I'm taking the longer route. There's an app on this device called APK Pure, and you can search for all the apps that you want in there. You don't have to sign into the Google Play Store. And for example, this is Microsoft Word on Android. So that's one of the reasons why I mentioned that this is one of the cheapest PCs that you can buy, because you can get Office, you can get a web browser, you have an email client, you have YouTube, you have a movie player, a music player, and those are the things that constitute what most people use as, well, use on their daily PCs, right? So that's one of the reasons why I said this could be a really good option for people. And if you're on a very, very, very tight budget, this comes for £36, I believe it was. It comes with a power supply, an HDMI port, 2 USB ports. What else did it come with? And you just grab yourself a mouse and keyboard. Now, any USB mouse and keyboard should work. The one I'm using is a combo mouse and keyboard. So I plug my mouse into my keyboard, then plug my keyboard into the device. So I'm only using one USB for the mouse and keyboard. And for the other USB, I actually have a memory stick plugged in, and I'm going to install some extra apps from that later on, just to show you guys again how stuff works. Okay, I'm going to wait for this to finish installing and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. That took a couple of minutes longer than I expected, but that's perfectly fine. I'm actually going to click done. I'm not going to open it. It should take me back to, yeah, it should take me back to Chrome. I'm going to go ahead and close Chrome. And close this as well, go back once. Now, to find the installed app, you're going to have to go back to My Apps, and it should be here somewhere. Microsoft Word, here we go. So I'm just going to open that quickly and see how it actually works. So yes, give it access. You have to allow all these things that they want you to allow. Setting up for the first time. Again, this might take a bit of time, so I might speed through this part. It's asking me to sign in. I'm going to sign in later. I just want to quickly get through all of this so I can show you guys that it actually works. And it's not the best experience in the world, but it's usable. And again, this is for people on a budget. This is for someone who wants to turn their normal everyday TV into a smart TV. This is for someone who wants to maybe do some very light browsing, some very light work on the TV as well, because it's there in the front room. It's the biggest screen you have in the house. You might be able to get a wireless mouse and keyboard to plug into it. It's very convenient because, again, £40, you have all this functionality. All right, I'm going to speed through this part as well because this might take a while. So as you guys can see, it's not the fastest device in the world. Even with 4 GB of RAM and a quad-core CPU, it's not the fastest thing ever, right? But again, I go back to the price point, and I'll be doing that frequently because it was £40. This entire device with some accessories is cheaper than a PlayStation 5 controller, and I think the PS4 controller as well. I think they come in at around 40 to 60 pounds. Well, the PS4 is 40 to 40 pounds. The PS5 is about 60 pounds. So this entire device, a fully fledged Android box with a full operating system, RAM, storage, USB ports, memory card slot, power plug that comes in the box, HDMI cable that comes in the box again, is fully capable of doing work. Now, I'm making the assumption that because it's taken this long because it's the first time I've ever opened this app, but after the first time, it should load faster. So I'm just using this time to just explain to you guys how amazing I think this box is. When I buy these boxes not for myself because I have a Chromecast, right? But there are people who like to watch stuff on their TVs and they don't have a smart TV. So I recommend this because it's so simple. Not everyone gets how to beam something from their phone to the Chromecast or the Amazon Fire Stick, right? And this is roughly the same price as a Fire Stick, but with more functionality than the Fire Stick. The Fire Stick would need a lot more apps to be installed. This was straightforward. I log in, use my Wi-Fi password, go to the browser, download exactly what I want, just like I would on a phone or a PC. Okay, so we're finally back. I mean, that took a very long time, and all I had to do was actually click off that spinning section and this popped up straight away. So I'm just going to click next. I'm going to say don't send data. I'm going to say close. And here we have the fully fledged version of Microsoft Word. Oh, I don't know why my phone's doing that. Let me just focus that for a second. Okay, there we go. We have the full version of Microsoft Word on Android. Now this is the same one you would have on a mobile phone or an Android tablet, and possibly an Android TV as well if you wanted to sideload the app. So I'm gonna say classic double space blank. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. Let's do this one. Okay, see, that loaded quite quick. I don't think that there's an issue with using this. And if I were to go in and say, let's say I wanted to edit this, let's see how I would do that. Is there an edit button anywhere? No, click down here. Okay. Okay. Not too bad. I don't like the fact that this keyboard pops up when I start typing. Actually, let me try and lock the keyboard. See if that works. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, perfect. So this tiny icon down here, when I started typing before, so this is what it is originally. When I start typing, the keyboard pops up. I don't want that. I want the keyboard to stay away when I start typing. Okay, so when I click that, the keyboard is locked away. So when I type, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, here we have all the layout options. I'm not going to go through this. People know how to use Microsoft Word, and if not, there are loads of tutorials online on how to do it. Just wanted to show people that this £40 device is capable of doing all these things. Okay, so again, if you're on a budget, if you're a student who wants some entertainment and you want to be able to type up some stuff quickly, or you're just someone at home who wants to be able to get to use Microsoft Word or just browse the internet lightly, then this is going to be fine. Now, I did want to show you guys me playing a game using a controller, but I think that's been exhausted online already. Any Android device from whatever version of Android it was, with Bluetooth capabilities, will be able to play games using a controller. Now, not every game is compatible, but a lot of them are. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to actually now go ahead and show you guys how to install some of the TV apps, okay? All right, so what's next? Back to the home screen. I've installed Word. I've showed you how to use it, but very basic. Now I have a memory stick plugged in, so I'm gonna go to my files here. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so yeah, it does show up as USB. So here we have internal flash drive or internal storage. The SD card is grayed out because there's nothing plugged in. We have USB and we have NetHood. Not sure what that is, so I'm gonna skip that for now. I'm gonna go to USB, but before I do that, just to prove to you guys that this does work like a PC, there's a download folder here when you're on internal storage. And if I go into my download folder, you guys can see all the stuff I've downloaded prior, and this is the one I just downloaded, so Microsoft Word. So that's the actual installation file for Microsoft Word. I'm gonna go to USB now over here, and I'm gonna click on, well, that's the name of it, that's just the random name it gave it. I'm gonna go down to, I think it was Android. So this is all the mining files I had on that USB. So yeah, I think it was Android. And yeah, here we go. So these are the apps that I want to actually go ahead and download. I can click into each one of them and download them, but most of these boxes, they come with a feature called APK installer or app installer, where I can simply browse the storage device I want to search on, and it will go ahead and install everything at once. I think that might be a more sensible option. So let me go back and see if it's actually on here. Let's look. File Explorer. Oh, it's not on here. Okay, so the APK installer thing is not on here, which is surprising because all the other ones I've ever bought, they've always been on there. But that's fine. I can always go into one of my two file explorers which come installed. So this is ES File Explorer Pro. This is one of the best file explorers for Android, easily. Right? Look, it even shows up kind of like a Windows or Mac layout. So I'm gonna go back to, where is it? Let's see. All right, so this time I'm going to be using this one. So I need to go over to here where it says SD card. I'm going to click on that. And this was the name of the actual memory stick that's in there. I'm going to go to Android. And these are all the APKs I want to install, okay? Now, it's a pity that I don't have an APK installer thing, as I mentioned before. So that means I'm going to have to go through and install them one at a time. It's not the end of the world. It's fine. I know this one works, so this is Cinema HD. Now, side note, this is not me showing you guys how to go ahead and use these apps to illegally stream stuff. I'm simply showing you guys how to install stuff from a memory stick. And this is just one of the apps that I wanted to show you guys how to install, right? Okay, so I'm going to do that. It's going to ask me if I want to install it. I'm just going to choose yes. Well, choose install, sorry. I'm going to choose install there. And again, this might take a while. Okay, that was a lot quicker than Word. Okay, I'm going to click, for this one, I'm going to click open because I showed you guys the other method previously. So I'm just going to click open. It's going to take me into Cinema HD version 2. Hopefully that's the right one. I'm going to allow permissions there. And I'm going to accept this as well. Okay. And here we go. Right? Here we go. Now, I am not going to go ahead and stream anything on this app. I just wanted to show you guys again how it works. But let's say you did want to stream something. Again, I recommend this normally for people who don't have a smart TV, or their smart TV just aren't that great. They don't have really good apps on them. And not everyone is good with a Chromecast, and not everyone is good with a Fire Stick. And I do think this offers a bit more functionality than a Fire Stick. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, if you wanted to stream something, what you would do, okay? So let's just say you wanted to stream, I don't know, Rick and Morty, right? With simply clicking it, you can use your remote or a mouse and keyboard, go into it, go to the season you want. So let's say I wanted to go to season 1 here. Click on that. It's going to come up with a list of all the episodes at the very top here. Simply click the episode you want. So let's just randomly go to 5 and you click play. Now, when you click play, sometimes it's going to come up with the actual links that you can play from. You can set this up so that it chooses the most appropriate one, or I think the first one in the list. And if that one doesn't work, it tries another one, then another one. I'm not gonna click on this. I don't want a copyright strike. I don't want to show you guys how to stream illegally. This was just me showing you guys how to use the installation feature of the box and how to actually go ahead and find the app. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and install all the apps that this person wanted. I don't know why they wanted it, but I'm gonna go ahead and install it. It's none of my business. And then I'm gonna come back to you guys, all right? Now I've finished installing everything. I'm gonna go back to home. So I'm gonna press the right click on the mouse a few times until it exits this app. I'm now back on the home screen. And what's quite annoying for some people is having to go to my apps and scroll down to the app that they always use. So what I tend to do, I tend to add the most used apps to the home screen here by clicking this plus button here. And then click it. I'm going to actually remove, what's this again? VLC, Media Player, and Netflix. So I'm going to remove VLC. I'm going to remove Netflix, and I'm going to add some of the ones that I was asked to install, okay? Reason being, the person is probably going to use these the most. Let's just see how many of them I can add onto the dock, let's say. All right, I don't think we'll have much more space after that. Strix, okay, that's working. And maybe, was that all of them? I think so. All right, so regardless, let's click off that. So I'm going to click back. When I click back, this gets populated with all the apps that I just installed, okay? So there you go. That's how you set the box up, the features of the box. My final thoughts, I think you guys know based on what I've been saying the entire video. Very handy, very useful, very cheap, very capable, and very versatile. Now, I am working on a Raspberry Pi video, and it might be released before this one. The Raspberry Pi can do all of this stuff here. However, the Raspberry Pi does take a lot more effort to set up, whereas this, you plug it in, you turn it on, you put in your Wi-Fi details, and for most people, that's it. I showed you how to go ahead and download the APKs you need. On the Raspberry Pi, you can install Android, and I do believe they do have a Media Center operating system as well, which comes with a lot of features already bolted in. But for many people, just having a Raspberry Pi and having to attach a heatsink and having to burn an image to an SD card and having to maybe buy a fan and maybe having to buy a cooling, that's just a lot of hassle, right? This comes, as I showed you in the earlier sections of the video, very simple, very clean, very neat. It actually looks professional the way they've done it. All right, so I'm going to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, do the whole thing. All right, peace.